We have made it as easy as possible for NLTC centers to become examination centers for the Transport Manager CPC qualifications. This short film will explain the process for approval and how to run the examinations. You should read through the qualification specification before you attempt to become an authorized center for this qualification. The specification consists of 3 parts. Part 1 is the actual specification. Part 2 is the syllabus. And Part 3 is the Center Operational Procedure, also known as the COP. The COP sets out the rules and procedures that you must follow in order to obtain approval and to actually run the exams. You can download the qualification specification from the NLTC members database. It is important to remember that teaching of this qualification is not regulated. How you choose to get your learners ready for the examinations is entirely up to you. We don't set any requirements for a teacher to have qualifications or teaching experience. However, in the interests of the learners, as an examination center, you should make sure that the learners have obtained a suitable level of knowledge before attempting the examinations. In order to achieve this, we require you to provide 84 hours of guided learning, with a total qualification time of 140 hours. You should also consider putting the learners through our mock tests in order to assess their readiness for the exams and to identify any additional learning needs that they might have. To help with teaching the qualifications, teaching materials are commercially available. You are free to decide which teaching materials you choose to use. You must be sure, though, that whichever material you use covers the entire syllabus. Remember that examination questions will cover the whole of the syllabus. In order to become an approved examination center for the Transport Manager CPC qualifications, your first step is to complete the center application form, which is available on the website. We are really pleased to let you know that there is no additional membership charge for members to become an approved center and provide these qualifications. As you would expect, there are some specific requirements to becoming an approved examination center. One such rule is that you must have at least one examination invigilator who has been approved by NLTC to run these examinations. In order to become an approved invigilator, we will require you to pass an examination which is based on the center operational procedure. This is to let us know that you know how to run the examinations correctly and that you will know what to do in the event of an exceptional circumstance. When you pass the examination, we will send you a certificate and an identification card, which you should wear during the examinations. You should be aware, though, that the teacher of the course must not be the examination invigilator for it. Your center will require a different person to invigilate the examinations other than the person who taught the course. This can be another person, without association to the teaching, within your own center, or you could use a third-party invigilator, provided that they are approved by NLTC. We will also need to know that your center is appropriate for the examinations. To do this, we may require you to send us photographs and written dimensions. In order to calculate how many learners you can seat in your examination room, the basic calculation is 8 square meters to begin, plus 1.5 square meters for each candidate. So, as an example, if you wanted to place 5 candidates on your examination, your room would need to be at least 8 square meters plus 1.5 square meters for each of the 5 candidates. 1.5 multiplied by 5 equals 7.5, which plus the 8 requires a minimum room size of 15.5 square meters. In order for a learner to obtain the qualification, they will need to pass 2 examinations. The first is a multiple-choice examination, which consists of 60 questions. The second is a case study examination, which consists of written answers based on a set scenario. The multiple-choice examination has a maximum duration of 2 hours. It has 60 questions and requires learners to obtain a pass mark of 70%. Here you can see an example of the type of questions which will be asked during the multiple-choice examination. As you can see in this example, question 6 requires knowledge of the working time regulations. Question 7 requires knowledge of health, safety and employment issues. And question 8 requires knowledge of contract law. Hopefully, this provides you with an understanding of the wide range of subjects which are covered in the examinations. Provided that you cover all of the syllabus points set out in the qualification specification, though, you can be confident that you have provided your learners with suitable knowledge. The case study or written answer examination is different from the multiple choice examination. When a learner takes the multiple choice examination, it is a closed book examination, so no materials may be used to assist the learner in concluding answers. The case study examination is an open book examination. This means that the learner is permitted to take written materials into the examination in order to conclude their answers. 5 days prior to the examination, we will post you written scenarios for the case study examination. Please do not open these until the start of the examination. Here you can see examples of a case study examination. In this case, the learner reads from the posted scenario and attempts to answer the questions based on the information provided in the scenario. You can see that each question has a mark value. For example, the question on the left has a value of up to 8 marks. The mark value is based on the number or elements, difficulty, and time it is expected to take in order to fully and correctly answer the question. If the question is not answered entirely correctly, the learner might still obtain some of the marks for the question. Each exam will have up to 60 marks available, and the learner must achieve at least 50%, 30 correct answers. The examination has a maximum duration of 2 hours and 15 minutes. In order to obtain the qualification, the learner must pass both examinations. If the learner passes one of the examinations, but not the other, then the one that they did pass will remain valid for 1 year. This permits the learner to retake the one that they failed without having to retake the one that they passed. When you run an examination, you must provide all learners with an examination brief, setting out the house rules, health and safety requirements, such as actions in the event of a fire, etc. You must also explain how the examinations work. To help with this, you should provide the learners with the NLTC demonstration examination prior to them taking the actual examination. This way the learners will know exactly what to expect when they begin their examinations. The examinations are run on set dates throughout the year. These are 13 weeks apart from each other, which gives us time to mark the exams, assess the information and, if necessary, permit special considerations. Notify learners of their results, develop new questions, and have everything ready for the next examination 13 weeks later. The examinations are run exclusively online. This means that you, as the center, must provide the learners with laptops, PCs, or tablets. Note that in order to use a tablet, it must have a separate keyboard and mouse. Whichever device you use, it must have a screen size of at least 14 inches. Laptops which are suitable for this can be purchased quite reasonably second-hand. They do not require large amounts of memory or up-to-date operating systems. They only need to be able to connect to the internet. The cost for the examinations are £60 for the multiple choice examination and £120 for the case study examination. Both examinations are subject to VAT. As an approved examination center for these qualifications, you will also be approved to run the examinations for the Transport Manager refresher course. Again, as the awarding body, NLTC has no input into the teaching for this. However, we do provide you with the examinations and certification following successful completion of the examination. This provides confirmation to a traffic commissioner that the Transport Manager has undertaken meaningful teaching and passed an assessment which has been set by a recognized awarding body for the Transport Manager qualification. You can run the refresher examinations whenever you want to, provided that you provide NLTC with at least 5 normal working days notice of the examination. We also have an off-call regulated OLAT qualification. There is a separate information film explaining how our OLAT qualification works. As well as providing the Transport Manager CPC, NLTC is very happy to let you know that the teaching of the qualification has been approved by DVSA for up to 35 hours, a full driver CPC. There are specifics to how to do this, which we will provide you with information for. As this is a modular driver CPC, you can also claim up to 14 hours during a refresher course. And we also have a separate approval of 7 hours for the OLAT qualification. We hope that this has provided you with an understanding of how the qualifications work. Although we don't have any input into the teaching, we do know some commercial providers of trainer training, who we will be happy to provide you with details of if you would like to undertake trainer training. If there is anything that we can clarify for you, or if you have any questions, please contact us. We will be happy to talk to you about this.